Records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for people.
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Be on your channel. Zero News and now. Tom Generation Next. We're gonna shine a light. With you. Generation X.
Oh, go and look at that light leak. I'm Tom Fury, this is Zero News. Until I have a look at my phone, I won't know if anybody is receiving this or not. So bear with me. If anybody does come on and see this, please let me know how we're doing, quality-wise, everything else. Sound and vision, because I haven't got stuff plugged in today that I normally would have. Plus, this is working over a Wi-Fi connection. And if I need to change it, I can. Hey, Steve, Merry Christmas, mate. Merry Christmas. Good to see you. Good to see you. I imagine you'll be out flaunting it nightclubbing tonight, Steve. So I'll say from the get-go, this stream is probably going to be a big fucking nothing burger. I'm way behind. I'll tell you a story later on, but if you can be bothered to stick around, and if I can be bothered to tell it, but I was supposed to have a load done by last night. Something happened, which we may go into, and it's left me very bit behind. The reason that's important to me is because when I've gone out Christmas Day, done my seeing people bollocks, I like to come home and either make videos because it's the one time you won't get interrupted. People are doing their thing and they know other people are. And it's also a time when I like to get organised with things, or even just play a fucking game or something. It's the one time you know you've got that extension of time. So coming home, I know it's a bit antisocial, but coming home is the bit I enjoy, because it's the bit where you don't get bothered and you can actually get some stuff done. Whether it's enjoyable stuff, whether it's work, normally enjoyable, yeah, or a bit of both. But the reason this stream's probably a nothing burger is because I don't even know why I've switched on, except maybe because I don't normally do any kind of streams at Christmas. Even when my channel was at its biggest, I didn't really stream over Christmas, especially over the Christmas. I have done, but generally speaking, probably most years I didn't over the actual Christmas period. And there's a reason for it, and that's, I think, because I was always so fucking miserable, that I didn't want to come on and spread that kind of misery when other people were getting ready for a good time of year. But when I say fucking miserable, I think it's like, I'm not overwhelmed and happy now, but I know what it is these days. So I used to think I hated Christmas. And for years, people were like, bah humbug. Because, yeah, I thought it myself. I thought I hated Christmas. And then I sort of realised, like, do you hate giving presents? No. Do you hate seeing people? No. Although it's hard when you don't know how you're going to feel fixing it to a certain day. But even so, was it that? No, it wasn't that. And I started to realise over the years, I've got, as you guys may have noticed from if you followed me for any length of time, I've got an obsession with the weather. And the reason I've got obsession with the weather is because physically and mentally, I do really well in good weather. So I think it's simple. I think it's the fact that 7 hours and 40 minutes of sunshine, when the sun actually does come out at the angle that it does, is depressing for me. There's no two ways about it. And I can't stand it. I hate it. I hate this time of year. But I finally realised that it's not that I hate Christmas. I hate this time. I hate the weather. I hate what goes with that. The bills rising, all that stuff. You know, it's not actually Christmas that I dislike. So even though I didn't have a lot to come on and say, I just thought, you know, a lot of times I've avoided it. And it's not Christmas that's the problem. And I don't feel like, although I've got some, you know, shaky days, I don't feel like there's anything negative enough going on that I would come on and spread it on stream. So I just want to come on, you know, say Merry Christmas and just have a chat. Like I say, it'd probably be a big fucking nothing burger. But think of it as and I'm saying this at the beginning as well, so anybody coming over for serious content or stream knows that this might be one to skip. You know, if it's serious political dialogue, I'm not saying we won't have any, but it might be one to skip. This is just me switching on at Christmas while I've still got a small channel, because if it does grow, you can't kind of get away with being so slapdash as I am with certain things at the moment. You know, you've got to tidy all that shit up. So it's almost like doing the naughty things while I'm allowed to, and just, you know, because I'm tidying up at the moment. I'm going to continue to tidy up while we're talking. That's what I mean. I could never normally do that. It's just very unprofessional. So, and the lighting, everything else, but I can just get away with it at the moment. Hopefully have a chat with you guys. If I could have done it in the studio, I would have done that, because at least I could have got some of you speaking audio, but that's a laptop thing, unfortunately. There's a strange light through the window, but otherwise everything is 5.5. Yeah, that light is just pure sunlight at an angle, unfortunately. Last time I was at a nightclub, I was 25 years old, plodding the days of Bachman Turner Overdrive, the group, not the car, not the car transmission. Tom, your subs have almost doubled in the... Yeah, not buying it, Steve. My subs. I'm not buying the subs. Have you seen some of the views? Exactly 400. Exactly 400. My subs went up the other day, up to 140 something, and then went back down to 126. YouTube congratulated me on getting 50 subs and then 100 subs after I've reached those already. And people will say, and don't get me wrong, it's possible to put a stream out and accidentally get loads of viewers on because of your title. It has happened to me loads of times, but what's got me particularly suspicious is like, people don't understand this can be used for warfare, because they see YouTube seeming to turn a blind eye to it. They don't. Not in the way that people think anyway. The truth of it is, from speaking to YouTube myself, is that they've got detection tools, but how do I put this? I had fake views going on my channel whilst they were using their detection tools to find them, and they said they couldn't detect any strange activity. I knew they were fake. So it proved what I needed to know, and that's that they can't, if they have got the detection tools, they're not up to scratch. They can catch up with things later on though, bot accounts and stuff like that. But if you're wondering why, I mean, it is a good question. Why would numbers being going on my channel rather than coming off? Well, it started, when was it? So I didn't come back last September. It was a year ago last September, yeah? A year ago last September. It was when I originally came back. It was the Stockport killings. And I came back and I got a flood of people on. And it was like Zero News was back. And that was when my channel was big, but I hadn't used it for a while. And I got a flood of people on, genuine people, organic traffic. And it was really good to be back. It was like, oh my God, you know, I've got the response that I didn't know if I would get or not. And I think it pissed a few people off. Anyway, the next thing I know, there was just some odd numbers on my channel. And I thought maybe someone out there feels a bit sorry for me and thinks that by buying subscriptions or views that they're helping me or helping bolster my confidence or something like that. So I am naive, aren't I? But I thought maybe someone was doing that, because I wouldn't put it past someone to do that thinking that they're doing good. Yeah, give me a head start, whatever you want to call it. So, but I already had a big channel. It was just the views that I needed to get back up. I don't know. So I did this live, and I just said, if there's anybody out there that's buying likes or stuff for my channel, thinking you're doing me good, please understand that you're not, because one day they'll disappear anyway, because YouTube normally will find them eventually and take them off. But two, even though YouTube may seem to turn a blind eye, a lot of these places come from Vietnam and that flags on YouTube. And what that does is it will get your channel taken out recommend lists, all this kind of thing. And I was explaining this, perhaps I shouldn't have done, but I was explaining this on that channel that day. And I had about 20 people watching. And as I was explaining it, as I was getting to the end of explaining it, oh, are we still on YouTube? Is YouTube still working? Have we been cut off? YouTube, speak to me. It's working. Okay. It just said we got cut off. So where was I up to? So where was I up to, guys? Fuck. I need to finish telling this. Oh yeah, so as I was doing this live, and saying this, you know, please stop because it's not doing me any. Suddenly my views went, watchers went from about 20 up to 600. And then the live views went to, I think it was 2,000. And then I did another video saying what the fuck is going on here. And as I did that video, the same thing happened. And then the third video, I called it out for what it was. And just said, please stop. And the third video, it was like they're running out of money, because the third video got half as many, exactly half as many. So perhaps I should have carried on and wasted all their money. But I realised when I made that third video, I was like, you've got to stop making these videos because they're not going to stop. And I got hold of YouTube at the time. And again, they said, oh, we've used detection tools and we can't pick anything up. Well, I know it's happening. Anyway. So, but that was the other channel. But what I can tell you is there are certain people that are threatened by me. So I don't think it's so much someone with an axe to grind. There are certain people that feel threatened by me because they know the abilities that I have, and they know that should I make it back up to where I was, I'm actually a danger to them. I'm not really a danger to them, by the way, because there's enough space for us all to coexist. But insecurity makes people think that way. So, and this is pure hypothesis because I don't know. But I wonder if it's more likely someone on my own side, someone who understands this, because they were listening on that video that day and then did it. And that was remember, that was a year ago last September. And then suddenly I'm on a new channel. Oh yeah, and when I started my other new channel as well, some similar things happened. Then suddenly I'm on a new channel. YouTube are playing their games, unsubscribing people. And at the same time, I've got subscriptions that are going on, then falling off. And suddenly I've got 250, and yet I haven't really put out my best work. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was hoping to have more numbers than this by now. It has been a bit of a disappointment, but I also haven't done everything I could have done to make that happen. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I know I didn't mean to go into this, but it's on my mind. It's been on my mind since I saw the numbers. I'm just not convinced, Steve. I'm not convinced. I know organic numbers, and I'm not saying there's enough proof for me to say that these are definitely fake. They might not be, but I've just got to keep my eyes open and see what happens from here. But just in case, if anybody out there has the idea that buying subscriptions, views, likes, anything for this channel is helping me, you're wrong. Because even if I'm wrong about YouTube punishing you for it, which I'm pretty sure I'm not, the algorithm does. Even if that wasn't true, you're lulling me into a false sense of security of thinking I'm doing the right thing. Meaning I can produce content and think, oh, well, that's doing all right. I don't need to try harder. It's fooling me into thinking that I'm better than I am, that I'm doing better. I don't, that what I'm doing is enough, when actually what I'm doing is not enough. For instance, if I hadn't have done this before, I might believe this shit. It's not doing me any favors whatsoever. So if anybody is doing, and again, I very much doubt this, but if anybody is trying to do this out of the kindness of their heart, please stop. You will hurt me way quicker than you'll help me. And again, I don't want fake victories. That is for losers. We either make it through hard work or we don't, and we accept the fact that we're just not good enough anymore. And that's it. That's the way this is going to work out. One way or another, that's how this is going to play out. So, yeah. But again, I don't really think it's that. I think it's just someone, as I said, how can it happen all that time ago and then again now? Again, I've got no proof yet. We'll see. Let's just keep watching. But, there was one video is on exactly 400 views and exactly 30 likes, which is suspicious. The other one got 600. Don't get me wrong. I remember putting out a video when I started my channel and it just had the right title and it got 10,000 views. And I thought, this is how my channel is going to be now. And then it took ages to be able to get those kinds of views again. So it can happen to small channels. I'm not saying it can't. But, yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. And then it'll be a nice start. But there's just something about it that feels a bit off. Yeah. Getter's doing all right, though. Getter's doing all right. And that's showing real organic growth. So that's good. And if we could get that kind of growth on here, it's not speeding along, but it's just a couple every day. A couple every day. A couple every day. And that means you're moving in the right direction, Yeah, Vietnam. A lot of them do it from Vietnam. Don't know why. Probably because they'll do it for a pittance. But yeah, they do it from Vietnam. They make YouTube accounts, and you can do this thing where you buy comments. I did this all in a video. I showed people. Perhaps I shouldn't have done, but I wanted them to see what people are doing. But in the video I was using, I showed that one that Captain brought up. I also showed one called Social Wick. And you could buy comments in there. Now imagine buying 1,000 comments, right? That doesn't sound so bad until you realise that you have to fill in every single comment yourself. So you have to give yourself kudos 1,000 times as different people. Right? Who would do that? Because imagine the fucking, I don't know, saying cool things about your own stuff 1,000 times in order to put a front on. I don't know. I get why they would do it, but Jesus, that's a lot of Yeah, I don't know. But I wonder how many channels have cheated their way to the top. That would be interesting to find out. Perhaps I'm doing this the wrong way. Perhaps I should cheat my way to the top and then be honest once I get there. But surely, if I cheat my way to get to the top, by the time I get there, I won't know how to be honest anymore. Hey Dave, how you doing? Happy Christmas, mate. I'll just say to you again, buddy, just like I said to everybody else, this is just a random stream. I'm supposed to be tidying up, actually. This is a random stream. It's not really for anything. I'm doing a stream like this. I'm tidying up while I'm doing the stream. I shouldn't really be doing streams like this, but I'm doing it because I've got a small channel at the moment. And yeah, it's probably a nothing burger, this stream. So I'll just warn you in advance. But I did want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't normally do streams over the Christmas period. Not because I'm too busy with Christmas, but as I explained earlier on, I'm most of the time I'm a miserable sod because of the weather. So I don't engage a lot. And I do look at Christmas Day not as being a day that I wouldn't stream. It's a day where I'm trying to get ready for today. It's not that Christmas has me all. It's more that I need it to be nice and tidy so that Christmas Day, Boxing Day, those quiet days, I can just sit and video edit, or I can sit and play a game or whatever without the interruption. So, and at the moment, my mum's got my dog for a couple of hours as well. So I need to get this done, which is why I will start moving while I'm talking to you. If it gets annoying, the sound, I'll either put my mic on or we just cut it, yeah? Because this is not a podcast. This is just me rambling on. Hey, Min, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you in that crazy country you're in where you get summer and Christmas at the same time. I think, going back to what I was talking about right at the beginning of the stream, I think if Christmas was in summer, I would like it. I think it's because it's in the winter that I don't. So, like, for instance, I like birthdays a lot more. But that's also because you can put all your effort into one person, so you can do more, you know? Off to bed. Well, good night, Min. How many of you will be... How do the Muslims celebrate Christmas? Sorry, how do the Muslims celebrate Christmas? Do they have a Christmas tree? I'm sure you'll be having many of your Muslim brothers and sisters around this Christmas, everybody. I hope you haven't forgotten to invite them. Just don't let them bring a pineapple. You'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Nothing to see here. That was mean, wasn't it? Well, sorry, but they bring it on themselves, and the society brings it on itself for not criticising things or making jokes out of things, you know? I remember when Boris Johnson got ripped to pieces for saying that they looked like letterboxes. That was actually gold comedy. That was actually a really, really good observational bit of comedy that got totally overlooked. That's one of the funniest lines a politician has ever come out with. Ruined by people that didn't see a good joke when it was there. I'm not saying he was joking, but it was a good joke nonetheless. They look like letterboxes. If they stood at the court, yeah. And you see there's a lot of patriots now. A lot of patriots. See, I don't like people provoking situations, but there is a group of people that aren't provoking, and I'm making an exception for, because they are dressing as Muslims. And here's the thing, they're not even dressing very well. A lot of them are just putting a black bit of material on, often still wearing jeans underneath. I mean, you know, they're not doing a great job with the costume because they know they don't need to. Because they know the moment the police see it, they're protected. And they've been walking over to the other side of demos, the side they're not normally allowed on, taking flags, running off with them, laughing at the police, laughing at the protesters. And in this particular case, I support it. Because what it does is it demonstrates how fucking ridiculous protecting people who've got absolute head-to-body camouflage of what they're carrying and what they're thinking, feeling, doing in a culture that relies upon body language and stuff. Like, telling if you're being robbed, for instance, all these things. And so the fact that that's protected is now being shown for the ridiculousness it is. People are now weaponizing it in the way that it's been weaponized against us. And that is to wreck demos, to wreck certain things, not in a harmful way, but in a way in which the police can be quite properly mocked and laughed at. The police are the primary targets, which is why I support it even more. Because it's the police that will come down hard on us and let these people get away with murder. And these people are getting away with murder because they're dressed like that, and they're proving that all you need to do is be part of this protected class, and you can get away with anything, and get to the point where you're standing in the road, removing your mask, laughing at the coppers for being so fucking dumb. And all these coppers needed to do was look down, and they would have seen the jeans. They would have gone, that this isn't right. But they don't. They're just brainwashed. Sorry, but they are. These ain't the coppers of yesteryear. So no disrespect to you, Steve. When you were doing it, it was different. You know this anyway. You want snow? Well, Britain is in no... They keep trying to say it is, but Britain's in no risk of getting any snow this year. And down where I am, there's always about a 0% chance of getting snow for Christmas, to be honest. Yeah, Ramadan. I was only taking the piss, but yeah, Ramadan. You're right. It kind of is, isn't it? Is that that's a fasting thing, isn't it? When I was doing plod, plod was shit back then too. Really? Is that why you left? Sorry guys, I do have to do this as I'm going along because I am so far behind. So last night, I'll tell you this, right, because it's not depressing. It's nothing to do with saying, oh, my health's really bad. I don't know what happened. And that's the point. I don't know what happened. But I was trying to get all this done, and this is why I'm so behind today, because of what happened last night. I was trying to get this done. And not just this bit here, I mean my place, so that it was all done. Today was supposed to be spend time with my dog, do a podcast, because everything would be done kind of day. Instead, I have checked, I've got my memory upgrade arrived, so I checked to make sure I got, basically that will leave me with 2 sticks of memory to sell, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, worth a few quid. And I went to check the safe space in which I put it in, and it's not there, which means I've only got 1 out of 2 sticks. They're a fucking pair. And I'm like, you haven't just halved the price, you've worse. And there's no reason to have moved it, and there's nowhere safer than where I put it. So that's bugging me. But anyway, and this is, anyway, I don't know why I got onto that. But, so last night, I decided to go and put because I've been working on this for ages, put all of my podcast stuff in exactly the same place, but also live, pre-recorded, and I've done the templates already, the laptop's ready, you know, everything's going right, but the final things needed to be done. Where am I going to set the, you know, because I have to have a place for everything. Where am I going to set the final podcast stuff that I don't use as much? Where am I going to set the podcast stuff I'm using every single podcast, you know? Because I can't have them exactly set up. I won't go into the minutiae of it, but yeah. So I was working on all this stuff, and just on working on a couple of podcasts themselves, and I was talking to Vin, and I had to stop, and I said to him, I feel violently sick. I really did. Like, I haven't felt like it in years. Bear in mind, I don't drink or anything. So, but it didn't last long. It was about half an hour and it went away. So I didn't think much of it. So a little bit later, I think it was about 5 o'clock-ish, I'm supposing, I went into my bedroom to start working on the computer and that. And I had a lot of plans, a lot to do, but stuff I like doing and stuff that could easily be done in that time if I applied myself. So I started doing it, and any of you that have ever had a migraine will know what I'm talking about when I say when you get a film or like a colours over your eyes and you can't see. Literally the only thing that's left is your peripheral vision. I got that. So I thought, oh, I'm going to get a migraine. And so I'm trying to sort out stuff and I now can't see what I'm sorting out. I mean, I literally cannot see. So I'm like, sit on the bed for a minute. And I was waiting for the migraine to come, you know. It didn't. It didn't. I didn't feel too bad at all. It was just, I couldn't fucking see. I couldn't see. And then it came back down to normal. And I was like, okay, that was weird. But I have heard of people getting migraines with no pain before. So I thought, maybe it's something like that. It doesn't matter. I feel fine. Let's carry on. So this is now getting towards, and this was also what was weird. The time just kept jumping. So it's now getting towards, I think, 7 o'clock. So there's a time discrepancy there. And I started violently shaking. Like, violently shaking. It's nothing to do with drugs, right? Just so you're clear. And I'm like this. My hands are like this. And I'm trying to look at the time on my phone. And again, there's no bad end to this. Don't think this is a depressing thing. So I'm looking at my phone, trying to look at the time, and I can't see the time because it's going up and down like that. I'm shaking that much. And I sat on the bed and I'm shaking like this. I'm not cold. I'm not upset. I'm just, if anything, like, what the fuck is going on here? So I thought, I've eaten today, but maybe you need some sugar or something. So I came out here. I got this packet of sweets. I wouldn't normally do this. I just threw the lot down my throat, just in case. I thought, maybe it's something to do with sugar. And I went and sat down again. And probably within about half an hour, I felt all right again. I'm not saying that's because I had the sugar, by the way. It just went off. So I finally went and sat down on my computer again. It's now, I think, 7:30. I'm like, oh. So I sat down by my computer again, and I'm trying to sort things out. The next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I must have fallen asleep from being completely awake, wired, doing stuff. I mean, moving stuff around to the point where my mouse was still in my hand, gripped like that, because I was doing stuff on the computer as well, gripped in my hand, and all the stuff I've been moving around and that was just in mid. Oh, that's right, mess in there because it's in mid, and it's worse than it started. And then so I remember this at 3 o'clock and sitting myself up and going, what? Right, this is really doing my head in now. Because now I wasn't thinking straight at that point because I probably had slept, yeah. So I'm looking around the place thinking I've got to get this done now. Still with mouse in hand, not realising. And I don't know how far I got. All I know is I made more of a mess than I cleaned up. And then I woke up without deliberately trying to go to sleep about 6 this morning. And the mouse was gone. And I was like, I looked down side of my bed, no mouse, and my pet peeve is losing things. I hate it. I hate it more than it is the number one thing I hate. I just hate losing things, and I couldn't find it anywhere. That memory, it's not just the money, it's the fact that I've put it somewhere safe and I've lost it. That will drive me insane until I find it or until I finally let go of it. And there's loads of things just I kept losing. It was doing my head in. So, so I woke up this morning and I couldn't find this fucking mouse. I found it eventually. It was in halfway under my bed, in the middle. How it could have got there, I have no idea. And I woke up there, I felt fine. And it's not until about, I've got to be honest with you, about 5 minutes after turning on this stream, I've started to feel a bit shaky again. But not really bad, but shaky again. And I have no effing idea what that was all about. There was some funny parts to it. There were some parts where I ended up laughing because I'm like, what is going on? But But I spoke to my mum today, and she just said, I'm not surprised. Which I was like, what do you mean you're not surprised? And she said, you're doing the podcast a lot. What she was trying to say was I'm like working overtime on it. Plus I'm doing the AI. Since I worked out I can do it, I can make my own. It's really captured me. And she seems to think I'm burning the candle at both ends. I didn't think I was, honestly. Yeah, and I don't know if it recalls all that anyway. But the one thing she did say that made me take notice, she said, sometimes you can be so fucking tired you don't even know that you're tired. I was like, that actually makes more sense than anything I'd come up with. Because I have worked hard recently. I'm not going to say that I've burnt the candle at both ends or anything quite so dramatic, but I have worked hard. Even if it's not come out in what you've seen yet, I've been just trying to get organised, trying not to make the mistakes, trying to get things in order, the technical side of things. All those things to me are the things I wanted to get back. There's no point, even if the channel grows again, having a big podcast if what you're delivering is technically shit. So I wanted to get things back up to scratch again because I feel like I've let them slide. So I'm not saying it's that. I'm not saying it's not. I don't really care what it is as long as it goes away and never comes back. To be quite frank, but it was a weird fucking thing. But yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's just doing too much. I don't know. But it was it wasn't frightening. It wasn't unsettling. It was massively inconvenient because I was just trying to get so much done. And look, I'm doing it today rather than having a sit-down podcast with you where I can have guests, talk about Christmas, talk about politics. So, I have to go for plan B instead, which is not exactly what I was hoping for. But I say all that, today I'm going to make good of. Because doing all this now, like I say, means I can make videos, I can do some things that other times of the year you're always getting interrupted. So that's the good part about it, is I get all this done today, go and do my duties tomorrow for Christmas, like we've all got to do, and then I come back home and for a few days I get to just focus, on whatever I want to. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be at least a day that devoted to trying to watch some films or something. Even though films these days are shit, I can't remember the last time I watched a film. I watched a few programs, but I can't remember what last time I watched a film, and it'd just be nice just to do something normal instead of everything being about this side of the camera. It gets harder, I think. It gets harder to watch stuff once you've spent too much time this side of the camera. It does for me. Because you know all the tricks. Even if you're not Hollywood, you still know all the tricks, right? I've been in the studios, don't forget, as well. So you know how to do shit. And it's a bit like computer programming. It doesn't always work like this, because things got more sophisticated than I got. But it's like when I was playing certain games, I started to get this thing. It was also age as well, but I started to get this thing where I started to think, what's the point of what I'm doing here? Because I could see the algorithm behind it almost. Now that wouldn't happen in every game, because games got really clever and they got to the point where they could start doing enough different things that would happen seemingly randomly that it would overcome that. But you still see it in games even to this day. There's a certain... I can't really explain it. Okay, if you ever remember the Mega Drive, there were a lot of pinball. In fact, a lot of pinball games. At the end of a pinball game, you'll have a number that flashes around on screen. You hit the button, and that number will give you a free ball. Yeah, this is just one example out of thousands. And I'd sit there, and I would wait and go. Nobody else could do this. I'd sit there and I'd wait, and I would bang every time. And people used to think I had really, really, really quick reactions. Even me. I didn't. I was reading the algorithm. It slowed and sped up at certain times, and they became predictable. And in the end, all you had to do was watch it to realise what it was doing. Same as there was a game that we cracked without cracking, because back in the days when computers struggled to be able to create random numbers due to a lack of outside variables, they used to have the system where you used to have to, it would say open page whatever in your manual to this game and give us the number on here, and you put it in and it would let you play the game. I remember there was a game called PGA Tour Golf that did this. Well, because of the fact that you used to like call them algorithms back then, subroutine that they'd written to do this. I knew they wouldn't have that random numbers on it, and what we discovered was we borrowed a manual, and it had an intro screen. It would play the music. When the music was over, it would then go to the main menu. If we let that music go to the main menu without pressing anything at all, because of the lack of variables, it would always do the same algorithm in the same way, using the same numbers every single time, which meant if you allowed, and it was basing its randomness purely on when you press the button. So if you press the button within 30 seconds, you got an algorithm based on 30 seconds. Yeah, so it used to let it run its entire course and would get the same number every time. And that was it. Really, really, really easy. I don't know why I'm going into this, but that's how it used to be with them. And sometimes you see that in games. Not so much now, like I say, they're getting so much better. And with the AI coming in, that's going to do them a lot of good. But sometimes I still see it in games when I'm playing them, and I'm thinking, why am I playing this? Because you almost see the other side. And it's a bit like watching films and stuff. You spend too much this side of the camera. It can, I don't know, with certain, if a film is made really well and it's edited well, then you won't notice it. But if it's not, it can actually make you feel, oh, you know, not, oh, I could do it better or anything like that. Just remind you of the work side of it, if that makes any sense. Hey, shh, go away, go away. Oh, that just jumped. That jumped a lot. Oh my God! So converse. Is that macaque? Merry Christmas, mate. Merry Christmas to anybody I haven't said it to. In case there's anybody I'm not seeing on screen here. It's not going to send me all of them through Prism, unfortunately. That's YouTube's fault, not Prism's. Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough, Steve, about the uncontrollable rage, but okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, fasting's not bad for your health. Fasting's actually widely renowned to be pretty decent for your health. As long as you do it properly. But I'm not talking about religious fasting or anything. I'm just talking about fasting in general. It's coming into popular culture now, isn't it? That people are starting to realise that general fasting is somewhat of a good thing. I'm not really sure what the health benefits are because I didn't pay that much attention. But I know there are some health benefits. But it's something I'm not against doing. It's just also something I can't set my watch to. For some reason. I really do need to crack on, and yet I feel rude. I shouldn't have done this, because I feel rude carrying on and doing stuff while talking to you guys, but I'm running out of time. So yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think this through. I didn't really think this through. I thought, oh yeah, I can talk while I'm doing this, but I forget that I've made all the disclaimers about being unprofessional, but it still nags at me. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be, you know, shouldn't be doing this. Shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to get all this done today. If I feel like doing something creative, and more really, I wish I had the reach I used to have today. Not all the time, I've got over it, but I mean today, because I do want to say, if I can, I will probably stick a stream on some point tomorrow, and the reason I say I wish I had the reach I used to have is because at one time I could have got a message out to a hell of a lot of people. If you're alone, if you're someone who is alone, or you do need a bit of company or whatever else, you know, like I say, I'll try and pop on a live stream tomorrow and you know, either come and watch, come and join in, whatever else. You don't have to be alone. I've got some family obligations tomorrow, but they're only going to take a couple of hours. And then the rest of the time's mine. As long as I get all this done today, and as long as I'm not ill or anything, I think I'm going to be alright. I'll be there. So, again, I can't get the message out to the amount of people I used to. And this is the only time it gets frustrating, because it's like, people don't understand, I suppose. Like, when COVID happened, there was a lot of people that told me after the fact that, oh, you helped me get through COVID. Now, when I'm sure I was one of many people, but it was still an amazing thing to hear. And I think that's our job, the people like us. When people are scared, help them not be scared. When people are alone, help them not feel alone, you know? And because of my anti this time of year stance in the past, I've not come on so much because I've been, again, feeling sorry for myself probably. But I just, you know, I just wanted to offer it to anybody that you know, if there's anybody that's alone or whatever else. You don't have to be. I know some people like being alone, but when you haven't got the choice in the matter, it can feel heavier than it needs to. So I'm going to be, like I say, it's only because I've promised family duties. I probably wouldn't bother because I like to have a day to myself every now and again, but it keeps everyone happy. So I'll go for a couple of hours, do family duties, but beyond that, I do what I want because, well, like I say, it's the one time I get some peace. So I'll go on. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I abandon my family after that. Like, especially my mum, I'll go and see her tomorrow or whatever. But the day after. But yeah, there's no need to be sat alone by yourself. And one thing you could do if you watch this later on or replay or anything else, if you do hear this off, or I probably should put it in the post, is let me know, like, if that is actually you. If you feel too embarrassed, fair enough. But you can contact me, this is zeronews@gmail.com. The reason being is, if I know there's actually people relying on me, then I will 100% make sure I'm there. As opposed to at the moment where I doubt else enough people to see it for it to affect anybody. But if I know people are alone and they do want that, then I will make a point of being on. It depends, 2 days max, and then yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to be certain conditions in which the fasting has to happen in order for it to be beneficial. If you just do it if you just randomly do it or do it under certain people's ideas of fasting, it's no good for you. Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts, actually. I actually do like Brussels sprouts. Still has last year's on, you cheeky bugger. Still new stuff coming out about the vax. There will be for ages. They're being dragged through court by everybody. We're going to find... See, people thought the truth wouldn't come out. We're going to find out that Pfizer's going to get done for mismarketing something that never worked. Or at least didn't do what they said it was going to do. There's going to be people... Unless they could buy the courts off. But we have seen people exposed before. The problem is the amount of time it takes. By the time heads roll, half of the fuckers will be dead anyway. That's the problem. And they know it. So they can condemn people after they've died because it doesn't upset the apple cart, does it? So... That's how I feel with being banned on Facebook and X. I can't DM people. That's why I still keep my old Telegram account. But I mean, WhatsApp, as much of a pain in the arse as it is, it's handy for that. You can DM on Getter as well. X. But yeah, you don't. X is a bit of a minefield. But yeah, no, I get it. I do get that. I wish they had that ability on YouTube, because there's been probably about 4 or 5 times I was going to write you a message, Steve, and it's YouTube, you know. Yeah, we'll find out how many benefited exactly, and it looks like from governments to pharmaceutical companies to even counsellors to people in healthcare, it really does look at the moment like the devil's coming for all of them. Unless they can find their way out of it, as it looks right now, nobody's making any bones about the fact they're coming for all of them. Why, I don't know. I thought they would get away with it, but it doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like then they're already being marked up. Court cases are already being marked up. Some are already happening. The accusations are very precise, and they're not saying too much, so it's not a big PR thing. They're not saying too much because it's for the courtroom. And the people they're going after, like I say, from pharmaceutical companies to governments, or at least certain people in government, certain departments, World Health Organization. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who we're going to find out whether they're above the law or not, because it seems like there's going to be hell to pay for some of them. I'm not saying all of them. There's always people that get away with some shit, but this might be an exception to the rule. I have to try and get a shadow account on X, as they won't do the promised appeal. Arseholes. Yeah. The other thing as well with that is I can always put out a notification when I'm going live on X, because that's what I used to do. I used to put it out Telegram, X, Getter. I always used to put a notification out on all of them when I was going live on YouTube. And that way, people used to never get notifications, used to be able to see it get notifications from those places, if that makes sense. So that was how I got around the notification problem the first time round. Can't believe I'm having to deal with it already. Do you know what I mean? I can't believe I'm having to deal with that shit already. But am I surprised? No. Disappointed? Yeah. I'm taking up so much time doing this, I think I'm going to have to get my little robot to wash my kitchen floor for me while I'm doing other stuff. Yes, I am that lazy. Yes, I really do own a robot that cleans my kitchen floor when I can't be bothered. And it does a better job than me, which is crazy. Because I am a get on my hands and knees kind of person, and it still does a better job than me at cleaning my floor. How? I do not know. But it is really, really good. It is absolutely amazing. But I don't really want to be setting that up at the moment. It's still doing it quicker than I will, but I'm just doing too much time flapping my gums rather than tidying up. So I don't do myself any favours, do I? What's everybody else doing for Christmas? Tell me something interesting. Be my podcast host for the day. Yep, that's right. And I'm going to, even though we're talking about one thing there, Dave, I'm going to use that as a metaphor for what I'm doing right now. And that is why it's so important for me to get this done before Christmas Day. Because, again, I don't hold much stuff for Christmas Day, but I need to get the bugs worked out. I need to have an immunity to bullshit and stupidness that I've managed to sort out today, so that I can be totally efficient and well, so that I can get on. And that's, I know that's not what you said it for, but it is a metaphor of exactly what I'm trying to do right this moment. I'm trying to give myself mentally and physically a fucking break, but not a break to be lazy, although if I want to be, that's fine. A break to be creative, feeling like there's nothing to do. You know, I'm spring cleaning in December, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I know there's always something to do, right? You watched the vid last night that may hold some promise. In which way do you mean promise? In which way? Like they're going to do something good, or something's going to be imposed on them, or what do you mean? Oh shit, I missed that. See, fucking, I'll be honest with you, when I was telling you about feeling weak again today on here, I did think, I'm going to have to turn this off in a minute. Because I started to shake again. I feel fine again. And it's not nervousness, nothing like that. I feel absolutely, yeah, I feel fine. But I was just feeling really weak again, but it's gone away. Basically, a distributed network like Bitcoin with okay, so I'm not shitting on this, but I'm just asking, let me think a second. The last time I heard talk like this, and this was a while ago, do you remember when people would try and jump on, this was a while back, but when free speech platforms were a real big deal, there was no Getter, there was no, no X in the way that it is now. And people were trying to monetize free speech networks. And it wasn't really about the free speech, it was about the monetization. And a lot of them, have these blockchains and all the rest of it. And they offered a lot similar, and none of them ever came to anything. And I think it was because a lot of them required money. I'm not really sure. Some of them even said they would pay you. However, I've also heard something similar about something similar, but it wasn't quite exactly what you said. It was something. It was something that current companies would have to, sign up to almost. And it would give newer channels a chance to boost this stuff up, because people are realizing now that the way it used to work was the power was at the top and they would drag people up, stars up, and now they're realizing that those stars, if you like, are being produced from the ground up. So they realized that they needed to work differently. So they were talking about doing something I saw that would promote people more equally based on merit and then they try and cash in on that, obviously. But even so, yeah, I don't know. But all I'll say is I've heard it so many times over the years that all I do now, even when they said Elon Musk was buying X, even that, I didn't raise an eyebrow, because I just thought, until I see it, do you know what I mean? Because there's been so many promises made to us over the years. Like Getter, look what Getter did to us. They get us all to renounce every fucking platform we were on. We go over there, give them our loyalty. We go and we're getting a couple of thousand viewers per stream, and then because they supported Ukraine, this is the old owners, because they supported Ukraine, and we were like, where's this narrative come from? And we were questioning things, all of us, in sort of Tommy's circle and around that. Tommy was given the cold shoulder, and it wasn't like they'd approached us and said, oh, you know, that's a bit of a problem. No, he was given the cold shoulder. Myself, Voice of Wales, everybody else had their views cut down from 2,000 to something like 50 overnight, literally overnight. I was the only one who had the irritation, I suppose, to have a go at them about it and to let everybody know about it, what they had done. Other people were scared of losing the platform. Well, why be scared of losing something when they've nerfed you on it anyway? That's why I left Getter untouched for years. It's only now that they've got new owners and you can actually get out on there again that I've started growing it again. And as a result, people are seeing it and people are responding well to it, and Getter's a really good platform again now. And it's a great window to the US and other places around the world, especially the US. And I love the fact that we've got a US audience sort of mainly over there. So that's really cool. Getter now is what it started off like. Getter was brilliant when it started. But can you believe, because it wasn't even that we took an anti-Ukraine, it was just we were very suspicious over Ukraine, and that was enough on a free speech platform to have our free speech taken away, or at least muted. Like I say, different owners long time ago. They're not like it now. Not that I can tell anyway. No, that was True Spawn. Well, it's a good thing in some ways. I posted a few problems I could see myself, but it only really requires people to allow old computers to be run as servers, or maybe Raspberry Pis. Yeah, revenue companies would be self-funding. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot that could be done, but just remember there's a reason why it's not. Again, see, I'm in a world where if I speak the truth, I'm a CUNT. What I'm trying to talk about when I say about the privatisation of the left, it's not a joke, it's not sarcasm, it's an actual fact. It's happened. Which is why even people with 2,000 subscribers now have got logos on them that belong to that one as well, and that one as well, and that one, because the money's being funneled to the same place. And that's kind of what I was trying to say, is that with ideas like that, everybody's got a chance. But if you privatise something, you have control of the narrative, and you have control of the flow of money. And all I'm trying to point out is that is not good for independent creators, or anybody that's not on the in crowd, or anybody that doesn't dance to the narrative. Look at what's going on in America with Daily Wire, Candace Owens, all these other people. They're not all in tune at the moment. They've all got different narratives, and they're all ripping each other to pieces over it. They had the right privatised. But they were all singing to the same hymn sheet. I'm not a fan of that. Thinking for yourself is the optimum place to be. Critical thinking, right? And so when you have one place or one set of places, whether it's an agglomeration or whether it's one place, regardless, when they are on top and they're pulling up like that, and there's a narrative, definitely a narrative, because you're involved in politicians, you're involved in people abroad that have an agenda, have a narrative, you are unfortunately constrained in that narrative. The ideas of us all getting a fair share on social media or anywhere else, why bother? The people who've got the money have got it, and they'll get their access. They'll get their access. The people with the fake subscribe, they'll get their access, because they're all going to be accepted into the same club, the numbers club, the millionaires club, as it always ends up being. And what it means is that the real ideas like this that have been there for years, but they are now going to be taken even less seriously than they were before, because there's nothing in it for anybody else. The only people that they're saying in it for is people who are coming up, who could contribute new and eye-opening stories to the movement, that could contribute new blood, new enthusiasm, a new method of employment of the news, a new way of doing things that none of us have thought about, new ideas, maybe someone that comes along and blows us all away because they're better than all of us put together. You won't get to see that person whilst one body of people or persons, whichever way it is pulling all of that into one direction. So the idea of us all having a network where we all can be on and everything else, that goes away when you've got a place that can do that, and then people, you know, will say, I don't know, by the working class, for the working class. That's fine, as long as you then have working class people on there doing stories and you make it a platform. But that's not what most of these big things do. They talk the talk, they have it in the slogans, but they don't walk the walk, and they don't put random people's stuff on there. Even streamers stuff that have been going for a while. I've known streamers that have been going for longer than me that can't get their videos on out there, and it's crazy because they're actually really good streamers and they've done nothing politically wrong, nothing morally wrong. They're just not on the in crowd, but they're really good, really good. And the only reason they don't do better is because people haven't just got a chance to see them, you know, which is what, when I had a bigger channel, we were trying to do, is get people exposed to a bigger audience. But this gets harder. This gets harder when money is siphoned away from them, popularity is siphoned away from them, because unless you get that blessing, by the way, from those holy people that create the narrative, who, whether they lie or tell the truth, everybody is going to admire regardless, then it makes it very, very difficult for people who just want to tell the truth, because we're up against a machine that is not operating necessarily for the truth. I'm not saying it's operating to lie or mislead people, but it's operating to make money, is its number one, and to do what other things it's got to do. It's got to please the people who have invested in it. Yeah, so it's got to do that. So, and that takes something away from the authenticity side of things. So that's why I say some of the things I do sometimes. It's not because I'm bitter towards this. I'm more bitter that there are really good people out there, some youngsters coming up, that if they are embraced, great. They'll get all the opportunities in the world. If they're not, they're iced. And then they've got to make it in a movement that is not that big. And if you're not on the in crowd, you struggle. You really do struggle. And they'd be better off, to be honest with you, trying to appeal to a much bigger audience across the internet and then come back to the movement. That will be a lot better, because then they wouldn't need the movement. The movement would need them. You're better off going to a worldwide audience than going to an audience of, I'm guessing, of about 250,000 people, who a lot of them are pointed in the same direction. So again, it's nothing to do with counter narratives or anything else. It's just to do with the fact that, yeah, and I'm not even complaining about the way things are, because whenever things get monetized, whenever a new media becomes not so new, Of course money is going to get involved. We're a capitalist society. Of course people are going to start making money. Of course priorities are going to change. That's normal. I'm not even against that. That was bound to happen. I don't like the idea that it's been privatised though. I don't like the idea that instead of having big people all over the place pulling things in different directions and also giving smaller streamers different platforms to go out and report for, different places to work for, different places to collaborate with. Instead, you've got gatekeepers and you've got the people on top, which means that those people have to, if they want to be part of it, they have to play the game rather than just be themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that anybody set out to do evil. I'm not saying that anybody's sitting there going, ha, 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 ha. Wait, it's not like that. This is just an unfortunate thing that can happen as industries grow if you don't keep a check on certain things, if you don't, yeah? And it is very, very, very much turning like the mainstream media industry. And I know that industry better than, not all of you, because I know some of you have been in the industry, but I know it better than a lot of you. And trust me, it's going very mainstream media in the way people treat each other, in the way that the money's treated, in the way the truth's treated. There's a lot of mainstream similarities going on now that were never present in this movement just a few years ago. And again, I'm not blaming anybody for that. I wouldn't know where it started or anything else. And it was inevitable. It was inevitable. It's just that, no, let me rephrase that. The money was inevitable. But I was hoping it would be, again, maybe 4 or 5 big people that would all be in competition, that would then be able to use smaller people. But no, it's turned out to be one sort of, again, sort of a agglomeration, you know? Oh yeah, it is fun watching them rip each other apart. I'm not gonna, I must admit, I got a lot of enjoyment out of that myself. Free speech platform that, oh shit, that takes away free speech for criticising Ukraine. Who would have thought? I know. No such thing as free speech anymore. Just controlled speech on different levels, sadly. I agree with you when we're in public here, but what I will say is my free speech will never be taken away, and the reason be it is because they will have to sew my fucking lips together before they will really take my free speech away. Does that make sense? And I'm not trying to be tough nut. What I mean is free speech amongst us is what we've got to keep alive, no matter what. It's when we actually keep our mouths closed and don't let a noise come out of it that they've got us. We must keep saying what we want to say, you know, where we can. The strength of this idea is that you're not reliant on one place for your revenue. Exactly. And that's just what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Dave. This is what we need. And I've seen other people offering the same thing, that you wouldn't be, again, the revenue would be totaled up from all the places, but those ones failed. But I'm saying it could work. My worry is 3 years ago, I think it would have worked. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't work, but there's a lot more people under the thumb. That's all I can really say. Under the thumb of power. So I don't know how many live streamers we got in total, how many activists we got in total, but I would hope there'd still be enough to make it work. Or that the people who are under the thumb might see a better opportunity with this. So I hope you're right. I hope it comes to be, because there needs to be some other way. Otherwise, you're just going to keep losing more and more live streamers. I know a lot of live streamers. I've not said a word to you. I know a lot of live streamers that many of you like that won't be around much longer. Yeah, and it's not because you're not watching them, and it's not because of the quality of their work. So I'll leave you to figure out why. But believe me, they are going, and they're going to go one by one by one, and not even because they want to. And that breaks my heart because these are good people. Oh yeah, we could create. There used to be a name for it. We could create. We used to call it an intranet. It's easy to create basically an internet on top of an internet. It is doable. A lot of people are talking about CB radios and that. And whilst I do agree with that, I don't think they realise how easy it is to make a second internet. Yes, Steve, human nature, we do not want to do the research ourselves, so we want to rely on trusted sources. That is the danger, exactly. And that's why we've got to be more honest than ever. Because of that. And people still see this. The problem is, I've noticed in people generally, is that people will quote a research fact that they found 10 years ago and not realise that that would have been superseded multiple times. They don't keep up to date. And including creators, it's like, no, I've got all the knowledge I need. The moment you say I've got all the knowledge I need, you're fucked. Yeah, that means you're never going to grow anymore. But there's people that do it, and it happens to different people at different times in life, and they don't even realise they're doing it. But so other people go to them as a source of truth. And it's what I'm saying. New media has a responsibility, because people will say stuff that's 10 years out of date. I've seen them do it, and it's like, you know, all you had to do was just up your research a little bit, you know. Modern tech is, the thing is, modern tech, I feel, there's two parts to it. The easy stuff to use, they make sound difficult. And the stuff that's supposed to be easy isn't. I end up having to set a lot of stuff up for people because it's not easy to set up, because most things never just work. And there's things I have bought for people that they've ended up asking me to come and set up for them. And I'm like, how would the average user who's got no technical knowledge know how to set this up? They wouldn't. And they are selling things to people. Oh, easy 1, 2, 3 setup. Yeah. It's me that gets the fucking phone call and spends 1, 2, 3 fucking hours setting the thing up. Yeah, they're full of shit. Half the stuff they release and say, oh, it's really easy to use. Yeah, easy if you're me and you got 3 hours to spare setting the thing up for people, you know? Without free speech, we can no longer formulate ideas for which debate helps towards our evolution. 150,000%. And we lose the ability to free thought, because it comes naturally. If you're holding your words, you're holding your thought, like we did during COVID when you're trying to make a video. Oh yeah, that hiccup happens now. Even when I come on YouTube now, I'm like, oh, I can't say that. So you'll hear me sometimes slow down for a moment because you're recalibrating. That's dangerous. That's altering your thoughts. But to me, free speech is the most important freedom. It's the most important freedom, because every other freedom there is relies on your ability to criticize. Every other freedom there is relies on your ability to call it out when those freedoms are not being adhered to. Every other freedom requires on your ability to be able to think in order to not only call out what's wrong, be able to do what's right. To be able to talk to other people about what's wrong and what's right. To be able to come to a consensus about what's wrong and what... I mean, it's the bottomless pit of hell, taking away free speech, when you're really talking about taking away free thought, takes away free action, free criticism. You think about all of that, it affects everything, even politics, even because politicians are protected by free speech, but even potentially slagging off a politician, you know, well, again, look at how it was with Mao and people like that. That's the end result. That's the end result. is that you just get taken out. You get decommissioned permanently. Right. Am I doing your editing talking like this, or should I keep it on for a little while? Because I've got to go to another room now and start on that. But yeah, I'm just waffling a bit of bollocks, really, aren't I? But oh shit, fall over that. But I've got to get this done. I've decided I'm going back to a green screen as well. I've realised that my computer's doing too much work, just so that sorry about the light. Just so that I can be lazy and not use a green screen. Use a green screen and you've got like 90% more GPU power to play with. So I think I'm going back, putting a green screen behind me there. I'm going back. That was something I'm going to try and do today. I put a green screen behind me again, and I've realised, especially when you're live, it doesn't use anywhere near the GPU power, and it's just not straining so much. Things aren't struggling so much. The result is better as a result. They can do all these great tricks, but there's nothing better than having a massive contrast between screens between you. Sometimes old-fashioned is good. People think that we've moved beyond the green screen. It's not that we've moved beyond it. We can do it without a green screen, but it takes infinite more computing power to do. So I'm going to go back to a green screen because it will, these days, you know, one time using a green screen used to take up a lot of power on that. These days using a green screen makes things easy. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a horrible piece of green material hanging down behind me again like I used to. But what else can you do, guys? I want the best results without hammering resources. And that's the best way I can think of doing it. So shut the fuck up if you don't like it. I'm kidding. Yeah, instructions. A lot of the time I end up throwing the instructions. I'm trying to read them and end up throwing them because I realise that the instructions have just made it 10 times more complicated than it actually is. And then you go and actually do it and find out. When you find out how it's actually done, you go, why didn't they just say it like this? It does my head in. Love it, love it, Dave. That bright yellow thing. What bright yellow thing? What do you mean that? Light. That won't be on. I'll have a light, so it'll be sort of like that. The camera will be more up like something. It'll be up higher, and then the screen will be there. That light will be off. You won't see the light probably. Light will be off, and then there'll be 2 lights coming at me, one from my left, one from my right, and they'll be coming at me like that, crossing over so I don't get shadow either side of my face. And the light that they give out, that will probably be enough, but I'll have extra light in case I need it, but that'll be enough, I expect. So yeah, so it'll just hang across there. So by the time I'm doing it, it'll be pointless, probably more something like that. But you won't see that. It'll work itself out. But yeah. I don't think Tom will have a screen outside. No. I mean, although, the sun through the curtains. Well, my place is so dark that actually the sun only come this time of year. The sun will only come through there for. No, it actually doesn't come through there at all this time of year. Not at all. And it's only bright for an hour in the morning. It's actually really dark this side of the house, even in the summer. What open that curtain does actually in this room, if I turn the camera around that way so you can only see the wall behind me, opening that curtain makes this room brilliant because natural light is better than any artificial light you can get. I can have 5 artificial lights in here and they'll do a good job, but nothing's as good as natural lights with digital cameras. Digital cameras, the moment they see a dark part in a room, especially expensive ones, because they've got digital processors and everything else on them, they can't just leave you with a pixel missing or whatever. So that what they do is they, I don't know how to put it into, they guess, which is why some parts of a dark picture will tend to pixelate, because they have to guess. If there's lots of blocks of black, maybe what you can see in real life is a little bit of shading. They won't be able to pick up on that, so they'll just have blocks of black there or whatever that you'll see. You'll quite easily see. So dark patches, digital cameras will try and fill in with things that aren't quite accurate. You see it when you see someone try and turn a really high quality film into a lower quality film. You see that black blocking and stuff that happens. It's for a similar reason, although some of it's to do with resolution as well. But yeah, it's that light's doing my head in. Well, see, it's different for me because my job meant that I had to know PCs. Originally, obviously, PCs I was super good at, hardware and software. But because I ended up fixing things, I had to know PCs, phones, consoles. I hacked every console up until the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And then I gave up on all that because it was getting tiring and I didn't use them. That was it. That was probably the biggest thing. I just didn't use them. So, but it was mobile phones, every PC. I even learnt to use Macs just back then when they were different, when the operating system was that much different, and the hardware in that. I even learned to use all that stuff. So that was what really burned me out. Was I had to stay. I was staying at one point with these. But I was staying on the cutting edge of all of that technology all at once. And so a lot of people I know who are really good with PCs, and I mean really good with PCs, don't know the first thing about operating their mobile phone. And it's really weird because a lot of them, like, they've got like £1,000 Samsung phones. And they're very much like me in the way they like their rigs, their PCs set up, you know, nice graphics card. They know what they like. So I say to them, not knowing, I say, well, you've got that Samsung S25 there or whatever, you know, do you ever find yourself doing this or doing that? And they'll go, what? They'll go, no, I don't know the first thing about my phone or how to use it. I'm like, what? And they go, oh, I'll make calls and that on it or whatever else. I'm like, you've got a £1,000 phone there. Yeah, I know, I never get around to it. And it's very common. You'll find a lot of people who are really good with PCs don't know much about Android or how to use that Android phone. Not everybody, but a lot of people. And you would think that technical people are just technical people. That's not the case. Even more so these days, because people are either come from a gaming background, which means they know a lot about what they need to know about, or they've done a course. And when they've done a course, if they've done a course in software, they won't know how the hardware works and why it interacts with the software the way it does, which is a stupid thing not to tell people, but it's a big hole in the knowledge. And you can tell when you're speaking to IT. I've spoken to IT people that know more than me until we get to the hardware, and suddenly they're lost. Or until we get to a piece of equipment they've not come across, and suddenly they're lost. And you realise, oh, you've been taught inside a box. And I get it, it makes sense. It's functional for the job that they're trying to do. But it's not what I would call an all-encompassing knowledge of the industry of the world that we're in, the computer, the technology we're in. So like me, for instance, I'm working on AI, I'm working on video editing, I'm making programs that do the deep fake, you know. You're into it all. There's even hardware that I make for my podcast. Some of it doesn't work, or it doesn't work the way I imagined, and it has to be thrown away, embarrassingly. Sometimes usually behind your backs. But occasionally I make stuff as well that does work, and it makes things better. And it's only understanding, again, it's not like I'm creating Samsung's next best bit of hardware. It's more that you find out certain things will work together. You know, something I'm about to try soon, actually, is going to give me an answer as to whether I can show you something I've never shown you before, but I don't want to say too much about that. But that's something I'm going to hopefully try out tomorrow, or at least over this Christmas period. So, hang on a minute, guys. So yeah, for me, I had to know every bit of hardware, but that eventually burned me out. It just eventually burned me out. It's too much. It's too much. And now I sort of sometimes even go out of my way not to know certain things now. Not quite that badly, but yeah, there's certain things that I feel sometimes I should know, but it's just like, I don't know, perhaps it's better for my health if I don't, you know? And the other thing as well is it's great having knowledge, but I've got all this knowledge in certain areas. So how often does it get used for anybody else, which is what I originally learned it for? And does it make you happy, which is an important question? And do you want it to be the only thing that you know about? And I didn't. So, which is why I started to learn about history, started to learn about other things, because I realised I'm desperately behind. And I've only got a lifetime to catch up. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I realised that there's more to life than sitting in front of my computer, which is something I did for years and loved every minute of it. But nevertheless, there's still more to life than doing that. And I decided to figure out what that was and do more things. And now I've got too many interests. And it boils my brain sometimes. I've got too many key interests, and it is too much for me sometimes. It really is too much. And people might say you'd rather have too many than too little. I don't know, because sometimes I feel like I'm going insane, trying to remember everything, trying to give time to everything. And because I am an unfortunate dreamer, and I always have big ideas, rather than just have a small idea, can't just do something small for fun. It has to be world-ruling, you know. Somebody else builds a tent, Tom has to build a fucking 1800s teepee that's exactly right. You know what I mean? I have to take things overboard and make them into a stress rather than a bit of fun that they originally started off as. So, yeah, it can go both ways with me. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do with. Put that in there for now. Hang on a second, guys. Right, I'm never going to get all of this done, but the one thing I wanted to do was move that into here so that I could do that, which means you're freeing up space. Hang on, there. Potentially there. Oh, you didn't order them, don't matter. Potentially there. Which then gives you... Hang on, sorry guys, sorry. Gives you access. No, takes access but gives that. And then that provides a little space there. I could put two. And then it's just that. Close. Okay, I'm close. What time is it? You already know what time it is. Oh shit, I'm running out of time. Shit, I am running out of time. Oh, okay. Look, I'll tell you what, I may have to come in here and say my goodbyes in a second. I am really... God, that went quick. I'm really running out of time. And I will not get this done today. I have to get this done. So, yeah, let's catch up with you. And I'm going to have to get going, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't realise the time had gone that quick. Never does when I'm online with you guys. Oh, by the way, talking about the screen outside, it has crossed my mind to go outside and put the green screen on the outside of my windows, and then just have some weird shit going on outside my windows, and see how long it took you to notice that there was. I was going to do something subtle at first, maybe even do an actual screen of what's really out there, so it looks normal at first, and then just have some weird shit happening in the background, just for fun, you know. There's a lot of things I thought might be fun, but I had to get one of the kids to get my phone out of airplane mode the other day. Oh, that's funny as hell. That's what my mum asked me to do all the time. Mine's a cheap flip phone that makes calls and texting. Those are the phones I think kids should have. Not these ones that do the WhatsApp and everything else. Just functional phone. That's it, you know. Yeah, webcams, especially as they were. I mean, they're better now. They're not great, but they are better now. But webcams as they were. I've got a webcam that's like, it was like 40 quid's worth. And unless it gets natural light, it's the worst webcam in the world. With natural light, it's the best. But that's a lack of a digital processor. Yeah. Right, guys, I'm going to go because I didn't realise how much time had gone past. And I am really running behind. So I'm going to get my ass moving. Thanks for spending some time with me. All I really wanted to do was just come on. So I don't normally come on over Christmas. But I just wanted to, like I say, it would have been a proper sit-down podcast. I just haven't had the time. So I'm going to finish what I've got to do. But have a really good day tomorrow, no matter what you're doing. And like I say, if you're alone or if you want some company tomorrow, hit me up or I'll try and come on anyway. And I'll do a bit of a live tomorrow at some point. If I think people are up for it or need it or whatever. Yeah, and I'm gonna do what I need to do in the morning, and the rest of the day the rest of the next couple of days I'm going to try and enjoy myself, whether it's making podcasts or whether it's doing other stuff. I'm going to enjoy it. So I hope you all do too. I know it's not a great time of year for everybody, but remember this: if you're someone that doesn't like this time of year, and I don't like the time of year, remember, in only a few days now, we will have hit the shortest day, if we haven't already, and we will be slingshotting our way around the sun. And our next stop is March. So we are slingshotting, my friends. Take care, everybody. Love you loads and loads. You too, mate. You too. Have a great Christmas, everybody. I'll take care and I'll speak to you soon. As always, I'll play a bit of music. As always, Tom Fury's here and News calling it David now.
Father, please, you can have my Led Zeppelin records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf. Don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What?
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
It's true. That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light. Shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation